Hello there. Happy Friday. How is everybody doing? You have to change your intro. I know, it's like 2 studios old. I need to find the time to do a new one. Or maybe we could just get a compilation of all the AI videos and just throw them together. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Haha. Right, we're going to do some logos today. God, I felt like it was like a week ago since the last stream. It feels like forever. Have I had a haircut? I might have had a haircut. Yeah. Ooh, got a little bit of a quiffy thing going on there. There we go. Quiffalicious. Looking fresh today, Dan. Thank you, Andrea. I don't feel fresh at all. But I will take your compliment nonetheless. I will take it and I will cherish it for the rest of today. And Kerry, you need to stop posting that bloody gopher. I always have my volume up, so every time I click on it, done. Yeah, we were talking about changing the intro and doing a new soundtrack as well. I know everyone's like very attached to the soundtrack. I think I am as well. So it needs to be something that we can have a little dance to. But yeah, the whole thing needs a bit of an update. Yeah, it's probably the pizza. Right, we do actually have a brief today. I think this was suggested by Kea. This is like an Instagram page. And if I just bring this up here. Yeah, so it's Brief Me Baby on Instagram, and they do briefs and other stuff. And so this brief is for... I don't know if this is a real client or not, actually. I'm guessing it's made up, but I don't know. I don't know if it even says anywhere. But yeah, a modern day bookshop and co-working space for the curious. A place where writers, designers, and thinkers come together to read, create, and connect. The Fold is part bookstore, part studio, part quiet escape, a beautifully curated haven that celebrates creativity in all its forms. Think soft light, stacked journals, good coffee, and quiet ambition humming through the air. It isn't your average bookstore. The Fold blends the nostalgia of a library with the energy of a creative hub, a space for the modern mind to slow down, think deeply, and get inspired. I think this probably is AI generated, actually, because these, you can tell by the M dashes. AI loves its M dashes. It puts them in everything. But regardless, there's a brief. That felt a bit like a cheese segment. Oh, there's a hair on my mic. Okay, we have some actual stuff here. So design a brand identity for the Fold that feels intelligent, warm, and effortlessly modern. It should capture the tactile beauty of books. Well, that's a line you don't hear every day. While reflecting the creativity and connection of a shared space. Okay, so books, shared space, creative, but also a bit reflective and thought-provoking. Thoughtful and intelligent. Warm, modern, and minimal. Creative community energy. Okay, so like a collective community style thing. A quiet escape for curious minds. So it's a creative, so it's a very community-led thing, but also a quiet escape for curious minds. So, okay. Maybe a bit sort of together alone kind of vibe. Interesting. Okay. So what we're going to do is go, working from this, we're going to sketch out some ideas. In fact, I've got the thingy-madoodads here. Let's grab these. And we'll paste them in Photoshop. Photoshop's just a lot better for sketching. That's way too big. Let's shrink them down nice and small. We'll start in the top left corner. See where we end up. In fact, it'd probably help me actually if I had this on. Yeah, I'll open this up on another screen actually, just so I've got it to hand. Otherwise, I'll be constantly flip-flopping backwards and forwards. Can you make a unique logo? I do hope so. I do sincerely hope so. Where have you gone? Let's see what we would come up with anyway. Oh, I didn't show you how the thingy whatever doodah, what's it called? Blah, blah, blah. Modu House, yeah? How that ended up. Car, you guys had some great ideas. I saw so many people posting in the Discord. Some of the ideas were flipping excellent. So cool. M's a really good one to work with a lot of the time. Where have you gone? Where do you put your projects down? What's it called? Modu House. Yeah, I'll just show you where it ended up. I did a bit more work on it afterwards. So, this is a lot of this stuff is what we did on stream. So we had some sketches, quite a few different ideas, and yeah, these are all really cool ideas, and I could have pursued them a bit further, but for some reason off stream, someone did a design very much like this, which I really did like. But that wasn't my design. So as much as I do love that, I sort of played around with it a bit, but it was someone else's brainchild really. So I didn't want to fly too close to that one. But then I just had this idea, kind of the idea of multiple affordable houses, and had this kind of angular M, and just kind of ran with that a little bit. And long story short, I ended up incorporating it into the lettering. So it is that identifiable mark, but actually it doubles up as a letter as well, which I don't normally do unless it feels right. Whereas kind of, you see here, having like a distinctive M and then having a regular M felt a bit weird. I was kind of like, well, we basically got an M anyway. Let's just stylize it to fit with this. The font is Nulis. So it sort of, it fits quite naturally, right? I can't really see the chat. I'm gonna have to, my mic's constantly getting in the way here. First time in your stream. I like your tutorials. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Hopefully the stream is as good or even better. We'll see. So yeah, that was kind of the idea, was customizing the M to fit with everything else. And then what I did actually so I could stack these as a mark, I actually stretched out the H to fill the same width. So I made it's a bit more structural as well. So both of those letters kind of feel a bit more structural. But the main reason that I sort of stretched out the H like that is so I could stack it perfectly like this. The whole thing stacks perfectly. And then you'll see in a minute, this bit here can then stand as a brand mark on its own. So that was the reason for sort of customizing the H. And this is where I actually landed in the end. So the whole thing runs in one line. And then we've got the reason I added the dot is because these letters here, the A, U, and the S, don't occupy as much space as the O, D, U on top. So I actually just added a full stop dot as a stylistic choice to kind of fill out this stacked version a bit more and make it feel aligned. So there's stacked, non-stacked, and then you've got the letter mark and the monogram version here. So the M on its own, and then we've got the M and the H, which again in itself is very structural. And then a little business card mock-up as well. Kaylee Renner. So yeah, that's kind of where that one ended up, and I'm pretty happy with it actually. It kind of came together quite quickly. I wish real projects came together that fast. I think when it's a real project, I like obsess over it more and I just want it to be the best it can be. So I like really exhaust every possible option. The M as two houses. Yeah, I think originally it was one house with those first concepts, but then it kind of made sense actually, because when you think modular, it's not just one house, it's modular housing. So it kind of I think there was another design that had multiple houses. And some people said it looked like a bed. which is fine. But yeah, then it was like, oh yeah, actually, maybe having more than one house doubling up as the M would be a cool way to go. Anyway, that's Modu House, but now we're on to books. The fold. Okay, so it should capture the tactile beauty of books while reflecting creativity and the connection of a shared space. That's probably the most important line in the brief, actually. In fact, let me post this. I'll post this in the Discord, just in case anyone does want to have a play. Right. First, we need a good old brush. So we'll grab this one here, flow down to 30%, shrink it inky doo. This gives you like a nice sketching brush. And we're just going to have a bit of fun. We're just going to do some sketching. Nice and chill. Because it is Friday after all. No, thank you. Okay, books. Let's just sketch. We're just going to see what happens. What do books look like, Dan? Let's just sketch some ideas. And you can do some research and grab pictures of books, and icons for books can be very useful. Different ways that books can be visually represented. I'm just gonna lean over the pen display a little bit. It's a terrible right side. Let's try and do that again, but a bit better. Although we don't need to worry too much about whether these are actually any good. Some sort of shape, shared connectedness. It looks like a banana, but I'm not entirely sure what it's meant to be. We could have books from... Actually, yeah, we've got to think about perspective as well. So we could do top down. A book would look like that. We could have them from the side. So there's your books, and then what you could do is have one kind of leaning over. We could have them stacked up. What letters have we got? The fold. So there's our stack of books, and again, you could have one leaning over if you wanted. Could do something with lettering there. The fold. Could you do the... And then have... Oh, hang on. Have the books offset slightly to create an F. Could that work? That could be clever. Let's try that. So we got that. We're going to need a... How are we going to do this? Smaller book. Looks a bit too perfect, so we'd need to make that look more like a stack of books. Just one idea, anyway. So let's try it with all books the same length. I don't know how you'd do that. Oh, what, the book illustrate? Yeah, I remember that. That was fun, that was. It was like a book illustration in the style of Andrea's other illustrations. So let's try. So we're trying to keep these the same length. So I've got to adjust the offset. I don't know if it's going to look much like an F. I'm not sure. And they're definitely not the same length. But then we've got... Where's my eraser? We got this line down here. So is there any way we could extend that, like bring that out maybe thicker lines to reinforce the F. I don't know. And here, this is part of the letter as well. Let's just see if there's anything we can do here. Yeah, there could be potential in that idea. I feel like we're getting an F. Although that book there is Defying Gravity, that would definitely have tipped over off the edge, unless we did it like this. That could be quite clever. And the stacking of books could be like a subtle representation of the community aspect. Hey, Rudy. Let's sketch that again, but we'll try and get a little bit more precision to make it a bit cleaner. So we got that there. And then where we're going to go for the F. So we're going to go here. Bring that over. I want to get the length the same. So I'm just clicking and holding shift here, and this is helping me. You know, we don't need to worry about it being too perfect, but at least if I'm doing a logo where the lines are going to be straight like this, it does benefit me just to hold shift. It's no extra effort, and I just get like a cleaner result. Yeah, they're almost the same length. And then we got two books here. Maybe trim a bit off you. Yeah, they're almost the same length. Yeah. That could work. Could you do that? It could. I mean, I suppose books do have labels and things on, don't they? I could try and do something, I don't know, like something on the spine of the book to make the F a bit more obvious. Yeah. And they don't necessarily look like books at the moment. So let's look at an image of a book. Let's go book icon. So see how books are represented from the side. Like totally from the side in a very simplistic way. Book icon side. Yeah, it's quite tricky. You got the little bookmark tab that you could have hanging down, so we could add that in. You see some of these are great actually. This one is especially useful. We've got different angles, we've got the side angle. Yeah, even these little details, stuff like this. So you could kind of go, oh yeah, these little things that are typically representative of a book. The fold, that's an interesting one. Ah, like the outlined. Yeah, so this is a really good thing as well. You got this down here. This is cool. Just having the outline and the open end could be another good way of doing it. So I suppose if we were to take this idea here and modify it, I mean, probably open this up a bit and we'd have it, how was it? Coming short a little bit. Yeah, so they did, what was it, like this? That. So let's try this. And then the ends, we'll round them all off. Yeah, so it's kind of like a sort of slight radius. So we're just trying to make them look a little bit more book-like. And then let's clean this up here, because this is a wee bit messy. And they extend out a little bit. So we can clearly see it's a book. Well, not clearly, but clearer. And then I wonder if... this would probably have to be a bit thicker. Hey, Jagrit. Arcs are keys. Is that these sorts of arcs that I'm putting in here? That could be one way. I mean, you could even... oh, I don't know. Could you have another book going this way? So we've got like a T as well. The fold. I don't know how you'd split it down there and justify that split. But if we could do something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is an idea there. T and H. No, T and F. The fold. That's not really actually a book. Hang on a second. There could be something there. So we got... let's try that again. Slightly lesser angle. Could go the isometric route here. So we got T. And then we have an F. Like a book. Too illustrative? No, I don't think so. You'd have to have thicker lines, so the whole thing is scalable at that sort of size. I think if we start adding more detail, it could become too illustrative. My logo design style is very sort of clean, modern. I love a good monoline logo, personally. So I'm usually thinking within sort of strokes like this. Yeah, it could be too many book stacks here, but you kind of need it to get the F. I don't know. I feel like there may be an idea there, but then this one here. So we've got a T and an F. That would need to be thicker for this to actually work. So sometimes adding a little bit of density can help just sort of give you a better idea of how something could look. It's not screaming book at me, but it doesn't mean we couldn't add some sort of supporting details. Dashed lines, or not sure. I don't know. The fold. Something to do with fold, like a page turn. The fold. It could be the page turn of a book. Page turn, F. Page turn. Is there an F in there somewhere? Could the page turn go up into an F? I don't know. I'm probably reaching a bit there. Hey, Barry Holes. Have you ever tried making similar logos in Blender? Hey, Moosh. Not really. No, I don't. No, I've not tried making this sort of logo in Blender. I've taken a logo and made it 3D in Blender. The only time I did use 3D with a logo was the Inspired Life logo. There was a concept where we had, it was like an isometric cube design. You might remember it from the streams. And we had like effectively three structures. It was like an I, an N, and a K all in a cube. To actually figure out how to get this to look correct, what I did was I think it was Illustrator I did it in. I actually typed the letters and made them 3D and set them up with an isometric perspective. And then I could see, oh, okay, this is where the letters would appear. And it kind of gave me an idea. Whereas visually before, I was sort of trying to guess how it would look. So doing a quick 3D mock-up. Like I would only ever really do that if it was for like a finished mock-up or if that 3D visualization was going to help me get my head around something. Sometimes with perspective, it can be like a bit of a, like it could be a mind duck. Oh, thanks, Cal. Yeah, something with the fold. Could you have the F? Folding? How could you fold an F? How do we fold an F, Dan? Do we do a reverse fold? So we'll fold it this way. So the F is like a sticker or a post-it note or something. Let's try. The fold. What if the fold came up? We're going to go with a chunkier F so we can then do the folding. So it'd be something like that. I don't know. I feel like it needs to be a corner fold, actually, like a page turn. A little bit more book-like. It looks a bit weird coming from the bottom. Top down for the F. How do you mean top down? I think you can do some really interesting things you have with your finished ideas. Hey, Raquel. That's the spirit. Oh yeah, these are, yeah, I wouldn't charge ahead yet. Like I could, I did this for probably years actually. I would charge into Illustrator, and you know, you can design in Illustrator as well. Like sometimes drawing circles is just, you get better results. And if you're like me and you do clean modern work, you can very quickly mock up some high fidelity stuff and get a better idea of how it's going to look. But for me, I think when I'm sort of trying to come up with something clever like this, sketching is just, it's honestly more enjoyable because you can do it on the sofa if you've got a pencil and paper or an iPad. So for me, it gets me away from the computer and the desk, which is really good. But also it just allows your mind to run free a bit more and just sketch. You know, sometimes if you don't have any ideas, just do something. Let your brain just run. So, you know, we'll try an idea that's a little bit more out there. And we'll try an F. That's awful. And you will do awful ideas, and that's totally fine. There we go. We've got a T and a backwards F that's intended to make a book. It hasn't worked, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is all just rough stuff. And I should definitely consult the brief again. Tactile beauty of books. Right, so that is something. Tactile beauty. What the hell does that even mean? Tactile beauty. Tactile beauty. How would you interpret tactile beauty? Like the detail of the book, or the beauty of the physical form of a book? How could we do this? The paper texture beneath our fingers. Yeah. Cool. How do you represent texture in a logo? Tactile beauty of a book. So maybe something that's not too static and not too corporate, but a bit more, I don't know, kind of lively. You got the bookmark idea as well, actually. What about if you had a bookmark like this? What if we could turn a letter into a... Because the T goes off like that, the F goes off like that. I don't know. I feel like with the T and the F, there is an idea there that makes it look like a book. Sort of like a T and an F together. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if maybe I'm reaching. Let's make it ultra chunky. And then we could make that into like a bookmark. The turning of the page, yeah. I feel like that's got to be in there, isn't it? Use the F as a shelf. Why not 3D it and use the F as a shelf? Oh, I see what you mean. So use... Okay, so you're thinking like... That's to put the books on the shelf. Let's just try it 2D first so I can just get my head around it. So I guess we'd have to do the F quite thin, actually. So we've got space for the books. I don't know if... I mean, you could even... could you take that a bit further? You could still make it an F, have it a bit longer there. And then just have... That's probably too many books, but that as an idea. And then what you do is you'd enhance the F. So we'd probably go for a thicker stroke weight, and then all the books would have a thinner stroke weight. And maybe the F would have a brand color to help it stand out as an F. And then, so that's quite easy to separate the books and the books from the shelf and the F. I do, actually, that's a really cool idea. Thank you very much, Dale. that you're using some more visually pleasing and corporate. Yeah. That is a cool idea. I wonder if we can get a T in there as well. Could we get a... Could we do a divider and have a T? I don't know. Maybe we were trying to be greedy there. But that would look quite cool. But it doesn't really convey the beauty of books. I suppose you've got the no, not the tactile beauty of books. The page turn. Page turn, page turn. Let's try typing in. We'll try page turn icon. Oops. This stuff's really useful. Yeah. This one's a bit too corporate-y. This one's got a bit more character, but it's got like a clean execution, which I really like. So let's just have a look at how that could potentially look. So up there. And then straight, and then it's kind of a pretty... That version there is pretty... Whoops. Oh, that was meant to be an F, but I've totally balls that up, haven't I? Whoops. Let's try again, Dan. Yeah, so a page turn properly executed there. Maybe. And then what was the other one? It was a bit more kind of like this. And up there, and then going up. Yeah, that's got like a little bit more character to it. So you could turn that into... Yeah, that's quite nice, actually. That's quite cool. Could you turn that style of page turn into an F? Maybe a slightly different angle. So instead of doing... What about if we came up like this? And we went out a little bit wider. And those points meet about here. And then we go up and across and down. Hey, Miguel. Oh, hello, Paul. First time in the channel. You're amazing and fun teacher. Thank you so much and welcome. Welcome to your first live. Hopefully you enjoy it. Yeah, I think that's what I was asking. What does the tactile beauty of books mean? I think it means things like if you were to like pick up a book and just really hold it, feel it, stroke it, maybe caress the book very slowly and very lovingly, you would pick up on the little details. It could be the texture, it could be how it's been bound or printed, how the paper feels, the details of a book, the beauty of a book, effectively. But it's how do you capture that in a logo? If we're drilling down to beyond just the physical form, what, like the paper here is probably the closest, I think. Yeah, so what other details are there with books? You've got the paper, the bookmark idea. If the brand name was called something W, we'd be done basically. That would be our design. What about a book? Just sort of opening up, as if you're about to climb inside it, sort of showing the beauty of a book. Like kind of being very close to it with a very wide angle, you know, everything gets distorted. Could we sneak a T and an F in there? Actually, no, that wouldn't even make sense perspective-wise, would it? The F would have to come out, and then that would go up. The fold. Maybe 3D the F, then turn the F back into the spine and the letter T on the spine. It's not just a library, it's a special place. Yeah, exactly. It's the XP Pen Artist Pro 16 TP. And the Gen Artist... No, what is it? Something Gen 2. I forget. But yeah, both XP Pen. Page... I like the page turning idea. I feel like that there's something really good there in terms of the getting closer to the book and what a book is. There's lots of different ways we can do a page turn. The fold. If we could get the F in there and have it quite literally folding, that would be... I would be very happy. I was going to say I could die happy then, but let's not go that far down. It's only a logo. But you get what I'm saying. Unless we had the F, I mean, an easy way around this would be to put the F on the thing itself. But that just feels, I don't know, it feels like cheating a little bit. Like, not cheating, but do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a better idea there. I think I need a really, really, really chunky F to get this to work how I want. So I'm going to go for ultra chunk, like mega chunk with very small gaps. Maybe a little bit shorter. I need to make this as thick as possible to be able to get a good page turn in there. And then down here, I've got to flip this around. So that's coming up there. And it's going to go up like that. And okay, so we just need a bit more of a turn. Bring it out here. Could remove that actually. This is cool. I like this idea. I got a good feeling about this one. What about if I were to bring it higher? Yeah. You see, now we've understood how to get this one with the curve, and then it's effectively like a cursor arrow. We can then play around with the actual shape of the curve. And I feel like this, we could connect this really nicely. to get a nice bit of geometric precision. So that would be bang on, exactly half a circle there. Everything would meet at that point. Whoops. And we could even get the angles 45 degrees or something, I don't know. The spine of the book with the letter T is the title of the book. Oh, I mean, I don't want to ask too much, but sometimes it's easier for me to visualize things. So if anyone does want to make a quick sketch or a mock-up or just something visual that I can look at, I'm looking at you, Dale. Like, and post it in the Discord. I find it quite hard sometimes to sort of understand words. Written descriptions, do you know what I mean? And I want to understand it because there might be something there. Make the spine of the book with a letter T. Spine of the book with a letter T as the title of the book. Sail down set. What? Yeah, you retract that message. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's hard. Words are hard. Top part seems to be too heavy compared to the. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a case. I mean, I do like this idea. You just need to kind of get the fold, I think, looking right. And do I get rid of that? Maybe extending that out kind of does that muck up the F aspect a little bit. Kind of. You could put in a couple of book lines there then. But that does ruin the F somewhat. But this is less book oriented, and this is drilling down into the detail of a book. So the page turning stuff. You could even add a couple lines for texture, or you could add some little dots. You probably wouldn't get this in terms of scalability, but something to add texture. I don't know. Maybe you could add the texture onto this bit. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to represent texture in a logo. I mean, you could quite literally do some grainy textures and things. But let's play around with this idea a bit more. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do another F. Just sketching light to start with. And then we press harder and put those lines in a bit harder when we know what we're doing. Oh, that's such a cool tune. I'm listening to the Battlefield 6 music, Kerry. Henry Jackson is the composer. I don't suppose anyone's playing Battlefield 6, are they? Just going to throw it out there. If you need a sniper. I'm not very good yet, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Where else could we put the... Could you make that connection there? Do that. The composer, Henry Jackson. It's very like Battlefield's. It's very sort of military themed shooter. Dun 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 dun. What about if we do something interesting with the angles here? We could have the angles. Yeah, so you can see you can remove too many details and it just becomes kind of nothing. But then here, with this design, we've still got, I don't know if I like the angles or not, but we've still got the actual shape of an F. So I think that is one thing that works really well here is you look, we've still got an F going around there. Let's follow that up. Yeah, so we are actually maintaining the integrity of the letter form, which is good. But then we're also curving it round. Does the music you listen to ever influence the design you come up with? Oh yeah, 100%. Well, it doesn't influence. No, it doesn't influence the design I come up with per se. But I listen to things that are sometimes relevant to what I'm doing. Not necessarily this, because Battlefield is a first-person shooter. But like, for example, if I was working on a Battlefield piece of Photoshop art, I would have the Battlefield soundtrack, the whole album on repeat for 6, 7, 8, 10 hours, whatever it takes. So I very much sort of get into the zone, if that makes sense. If I'm doing a cyberpunk piece of art, I'm listening to cyberpunk. If it's like RPG fantasy or something, I'm listening to, probably Skyrim or something. So the music definitely kind of sort of fuels that inspiration. I mean, this music's very like, I feel like I'm literally about to go to war or something. But it's good because it's kind of it just, I don't know, it can help speed up the work process. I don't know, it's very sort of like let's take action kind of music. Like one thing I sort of listened to a while ago. I don't do it all the time, but it's kind of like hacker music. It's very like suspenseful but concentrative, is that a word? As well. And even though I'm not hacking anything, I'm just designing a logo, it's very much kind of like a, yes. It's hard to explain. Hmm. Does that look like a page turn or not? Or does it need to extend along there a bit? I think that makes sense, doesn't it? I'm cooking, Dan. Appreciate the dedication. When you say cooking, do you mean literal cooking or are you cooking up an amazing design? Hey, Kaya. Howdy. Howdy, ma'am. What if you rotated the current design so the fold is the top part of the F? Oh, what? Have the fold up here? Let's try it. Let's give it a go. So we're going to start with our basic F again. Just sketch something out real rough. So for the fold is going to be up here, isn't it? So I guess what you're suggesting is it would do something like that. Is that right? Or have I got that? Oh god, that's weird. Doing it upside down. Let's rotate it. So it's going to be a C and then a triangle. Yeah. That should be correct in theory. Why does it look weird? Let's just put some bit more of the line work in. Why does that look weird? It's hurting my brain. Is it an upside down page turn that doesn't look right? It's short circuiting my brain. Oh no, I mean the triangle fold is on the top. Horizontal stick of it. Oh, do you mean up here? I don't understand. I don't know. Mock-ups in the Discord if anyone wants to have a go. Okay, I see. So yeah, I misunderstood and put it in the wrong place. So you're saying here? Or how would I do this? Is this what you meant? Please say it's what you meant. The only thing that I think is not going to work for a book having it come from the top is you don't turn the page typically like from the top. I think typically like books or icons of books, visuals of books are represented with a page turn in a bottom corner. Typically, like, and obviously we can turn a page from the top, but just thinking about how they're usually represented. I feel like something between these two. This one might be a bit steep here. So let's try like a in-between one. God, I'm gonna be dreaming about the letter F at this point. We've got our chunky F. And we're gonna do that. That'll work really nicely. Too steep, too shallow. So maybe we could aim for this point and try and align to other bits of geometry. I think actually the problem is this connection here. I think actually instead of trying to connect things, which is me trying to kind of be clever, instead it should actually come over part of the design. So it looks more like a page turn. I think that way it'll have a bit more character. Oh, if we could get this like that, that would be really, really cool. Oh, that would be so cool if I can get this to work. What if the page turn made the second horizontal of the F? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, let's try that. I think trying to make it too geometrically perfect, that's very much my style, but I feel like in this it needs a bit more character. So doing something that isn't just trying to connect everything up, I think will give it much more personality. And it still needs to look like a page turn. So you're saying bring it up into the F up there. Yes, that could be a very good placement for it. Let's just clean that up a bit. So we could bring that out quite far. Maybe something like that. The angle feels a bit weird there. Do I need that to be straight to bring it up? I don't know. It doesn't feel like a page turn. Have I mucked something up? Ah, yeah, I think I have. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. So we need to keep the other part of the F. Have this coming down. So we actually need to draw the letter, but then connect this to that bit, I think. Yeah. That's the right sort of placement, I think, isn't it? Dan is confused, bro. I'm always confused. Bottom curve should be upside down. What do you mean? Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't be symmetrical. I want it to kind of come from the bottom more. So I think for that, it's going to have to be a steeper angle. It's really hard to try and get it sort of in the right place, but also get it so that from a geometry point of view, I'm happy with it. I don't watch stuff to know, but do you ever get inspiration from AI? No, not usually. I have tried using AI to generate ideas from logos, or if I've got an idea, a sketch, I'll say, could you refine this? But it usually does a very terrible job. Like it really is. Yeah, it can do some incredible things, but it's not quite there with logos yet. At least, you know, the ones I've used so far. Yeah, it's hard. It's just getting this in the right place. I think that has to be... Yeah, it's just not quite right. Do we have to bring it down lower, maybe? Or do we... Ah, no, maybe straight line. I think that's a bit better. And then we've got a much clearer F there. Yeah, so yeah, it might need to push out a bit more. And then we've got to think about the letter as well. You know, do we lean into it, kind of do something like this, so we're kind of matching these angles here? I honestly don't know at this stage. I might keep it like that for now, with a view that we could change it. And if, you know, this is why I like to sketch, because if we were to go ahead with that design now and say, okay, let's go and do that, obviously we've got to do the type and everything. But to actually create this in vector format would take like 10 minutes properly. You know, you could speed run it very quickly. But it's the idea that, like, actually making it technically is very easy in Illustrator a lot of the time, but it's the idea that I think is going to really sell the concept, you know? Maybe it's folded back. The two horizontal stripes start from the very left, fold over it. Two horizontal stripes. What's the brief? I've posted it in Discord. If you would like to join the Discord, by the way, it's free, dansky.com. You can sign up. There's a link on the homepage to the community. In line with where it is on the standard, yeah. And the thing is, I've not even looked through fonts, actually. Maybe this would be a good point to go through some fonts and look at Fs. Because there might be a font that I come across. I've obviously just made a big, chunky sans serif F. But actually... Oh, where's it gone? There might be another font that is a bit more aligned with this. Anyway, what about lowercase f? Don't know if that would work. The lowercase f. I didn't even think of that. Could we do a page turn on a lowercase f? Not in the same way, because it has this bit coming out the side. Let's go through some fonts. Let's have a look at some fonts, eh? Why do you prefer Photoshop? For sketching. It's just way better for sketching than Illustrator. Brush tool, flow at 30%, and you can see you get a more pencil-like sketch. Illustrator will be the final version, 100%. You could use pencil and paper for this bit. It really doesn't matter. The important thing is that you've got something that you can just sketch ideas with freely. Yeah, I mean, if we were going to do a monogram, which we shouldn't write off that. I don't know if it will fulfill the brief as well, but if we were to do a T and an F, a monogram, like a lowercase t, the bar would go straight across into the F as well. So they would probably connect quite nicely, actually. You know, if we were to just mock that up now. You could do something like with a T and an F, or you could do a T and an F, or I don't know. There's probably, that's like a dollar sign, but yeah, there's ways you could connect a T and an F. But I just kind of, with this idea in mind, want to look at some Fs and see if there's one that is more aligned that could work with this and fulfill the brief. Yeah, see, that's quite different. In fact, I want to look at uppercase, actually. Rounded corners, so we could do that as well. I feel like at the moment it could be a bit too sharp to give it a slightly more friendly, warm view. Actually, I think just slightly rounding of the corners off would be a good way to go. What's that, Alphan? That's sort of similar to my F. I do like the idea of the page turn forming that bottom part of the F. We just need to get the balance right between it looking like an F and looking like a page turn. Which I don't think we're a million miles away from. Right, I don't think this is really going to help me. The rounded corners kind of did. So if we were to take this design now, we'll do another version. We'll keep that one as is. We'll do another version. I'm going to extend it out slightly wider. Bring it down. So we're just going to get the base shape in first. And we're going to have to bring the F out to about here for it to be a proper F. So something like that. And then this, what do we have to do the turn there? I think we do that. There we go. And then we need to just extend that out so all these little things now really start to matter. With this curve here, do you turn it downwards more, or do you kind of have it kind of taper off at that point? Do you have this bit here as an equal semicircle, or do you bring it like a bit lower? Do we get rid of that and have it as a kind of playing around with negative space a bit, so you can see it's a page turn and an F? It could be, if it works, it would look really cool. Is it possible to curve the top left corner? Yeah, so that's the next bit. I can't decide if I like... I think I want to get rid of it and make it work. Then we can curve this. So let's just go around and curve everything. Let's just get rid of these corners. Curve you, curve you, curve you. Right. So we're just rubbing those bits away, and then we can just add a slight corner radius. Does that need to be sharp though? Normally I'm very particular about mixing sharp and curved, but I think... Oh, I don't know. That's a weird one. Because it's paper. Do you need that one bit to be sharp? Maybe. And then here, obviously, we've got a small radius here. We've got a massive radius here. So I'm thinking from a letter form point of view, do we need to have that come down, then match the radius? And if that looks weird, we then have to start with the radius and bring the shape of the letter to meet it. Which might not work, actually. It's probably better, actually, to just sketch a few of these really quickly to just sort of see what could look right. Could that work? So bringing it up a bit more. Does that still look like a page turn? The page needs to be sharp, yeah. Yeah, I think in this example it does. So... No, thank you, Andrea. Yeah, my courses are on dansky.com. There's a link at the top of the chat to the Illustrator first class, but the master classes go like further than that as well. So Photoshop or Illustrator. If you want to learn the software, in fact, if you want to master it, and even if you're a beginner and you've never used it before, then I will teach you. And if you do enroll in any of my courses, any of them, you get support from me. So if you need someone to help you or you get stuck, I'll be here for you. There's probably a song there somewhere. I was gonna burst into song. That'd be a good segue, wouldn't it? God, no more course trailers. I'll just sing to you. Shut up, Dan. Thanks, Andrea. She giveth and she taketh away. Oh, hang on. Where's my page? Just so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, right. Let's look at page turns. So a curved and a straight line. That bottom bit's sort of curved. Need a good looking page turn. That's quite helpful. So the page turn could, in theory, be straight as well. What about if we curve the top one instead? Oh, that might be a bit better, actually. Your slide experience. You've seen it, haven't you? Hey, David. How's it going? Question. When you're done with a design, how do you verify it hasn't been used before? Google. Do an image search where you can upload your design to Google. I forget the web address. There is like you can look up trademarking databases as well. What is it? Trademarking. Specifically in the country where it's going to be used as well. What's the flipping? Is it this one? Whippo. Oh, where is it? I'll find it. It's Whippo something. Whippo. Yeah, I'll throw this link in the chat. So you can upload your design and you can just check that it's not being used as part of a trademark existing or pending. I mean, if a trademark is pending, I don't think it's an issue, but if it does get approved, then it could become an issue. So it's probably safer to avoid that and just not provide a logo to your client that they could face legal action for. I think it's more of a problem if you're designing a logo in the same industry as well. I think especially when trademarking goes, if it's a totally different industry, it's not as strict, but may still be an issue. It kind of depends, really. I don't think it's a real project. It's from an Instagram brief. It's a channel or account called Brief Me Baby. Brief Me Baby. And this was just one of their briefs. Oh, there is definitely an idea here that I think is very, very close. That actually might be it. I think a bit more. Having it kind of come from both sides like that. The only other idea, I'm just going to quickly try, is to bring it lower. So it's not totally symmetrical. So to bring it more sort of like this. I don't know. It doesn't really do anything, actually. I think it's more about representing the tactile beauty of a book with something like a page turn. Whether it goes from left to right or right to left, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Yeah, something like that. Let's take that into Illustrator and just have a play. The design process is never a straight line. It's very wibbly wobbly. So we're just going to drop the opacity down and lock it just so I can see what I'm doing. Right. And then we'll mock this up. This shouldn't take long at all, actually. So what we're going to do is just block out the base shapes. And then what do we need here? Probably just a couple of arcs, I think. Do one there. And do another one down here. This is kind of cool, actually. We can see how it's going to look. So is that going to be enough? Enough of a pokey bit on the F? We could stretch it out. Could possibly get away with that. I'd love to keep it precise if I can. So we'll just kind of copy that. Shape builder tool to trim off the ends. Join those two end points. Don't worry about the spiky bit, we'll sort that out. And then here we need to, first of all, line this up. Why are you not lined up? You are. What is going on there then? Let's just make sure they're set at the stroke. Yeah, they weren't the same stroke weight. So we're going to round off the cap. Sorry, the corner. So it just kind of rounds that bit off slightly. And then we've just got to use the shape builder tool to combine the different pieces. And we can move this on. And then I'm going to get rid of that segment. I've screwed up the width here. Hang on a sec. We've got an error. So we'll copy this bottom part. I'm just going to rotate this. Yeah. Made it too thick on the top, so we're just going to line it up. And we've just got to make sure that we're not doubling up any strokes anywhere. So this bit, move it back, connect it up. And we just got to go around and try and round the corners off. So we'll enter a value. We'll go with 2. We'll go down here, we'll go 2. And we need to round this off, and it's not going to let me, because of course we've got this double weirdness going on. So what we've got to do is get rid of any duplicate anchor points that are on top of each other, and then you can see it lets me round the corner off. You got any duplicates down here? Yeah, of course we have. So we just delete the duplicate and then reconnect it all. And we could give you a little rounding off. This is cool actually. We can round off the corner, but we'll keep the point in the white. So we kind of get the best of both worlds. We get the point and we get the rounded corner that fits with everything else. And now that we've set the line work up, you see what I mean? It's so clean to set the idea up once you've done it, especially in this sort of modern style. Then we can adjust the stroke weight and try it at a couple of different sizes. And then I could even take this version here and just bring this part of the F in, because this bit doesn't extend very far out. So I might just bring that in a little bit just to account for that. Oh, let's have a look. Origami. I'm not sure if origami is quite bookshop. I'm not sure, but it's cool. Yeah. That'd be quite a fun one to do, actually. Very sort of geometric, and you could make an origami letter F. The only thing that's bugging me here is I feel like it's almost symmetrical, but not quite. So I'm going to just... That's fine, but I'm just going to hop back to this stage a little bit. Bring that in. And let's... Oh, hang on, I've already cut it. All right, go back to this stage. This is why I keep all my little checkpoints. Let's copy that and reflect it. Group them together. And just make it so that lines up with the corner. So this would be a symmetrically sort of version, and the F would come out a bit more. And this top one here, I got to get the right width. So let's get the right width on that. And then we're going to set the width to 2. Always the yeah. I appreciate the screenshot nonetheless. I kind of zoned out watching Vectorize or Sketch. Is that a good thing? Honestly, it's so fun. I absolutely love logo design, but sketching as well. Like, obviously, I'm doing it here on the tablet, but doing it for a real project, you just get to like sit on the sofa with the iPad or the pen and pencil and just have a blanket and a coffee and just let your mind wander. Put some music on. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. Right, so we've got a perfectly symmetrical version there where the page turn kind of is balanced top and bottom. I'm also going to do a version where it's that's why it's going weird. I've got my scaling set wrong. I'm going to do one where it comes a bit lower. And to get the page turn a bit lower here, what we need to do, and all this stuff that I'm doing now, the proper way to use all the tools, this is in Illustrator First Class. So you don't even need the masterclass to learn all this stuff. Just the how to use the basic tools, like the scale tool, the rotate tool, reflect tool, to be able to create this stuff is all super, super simple. Yeah, so you see here, we could bring it lower and it could maybe like bend out a little bit as well, which I kind of like. And then we'll... So quite a little overlap, but yeah, that could work. Do I like that? Does it feel a bit low? What about if I move that higher? It's hard because I've got this sort of perfect quarter segment. That's why I've used the arc tool. So I've got to try and get the height and the position right. And there we go. It overlaps. But then it's got to come back. So it kind of hits that point there. And then down here, I want it to run through that point as well. And then they're still overlapping there. So let's give it a go. We'll see how this one looks. Hey, you're welcome, Isaac. So we can break these bits of path apart and just shape build a tool off the little segments that we definitely don't need. Don't worry about any of this weird stuff, we can fix that. It's usually where points don't line up. Usually outline mode like this and zooming in, you can see exactly where things have gone a bit wrong. And then we can kind of zoom in, diagnose it, and there we go. We get a clean corner. Oh, awesome, Jagret. Right, let's go round the corners to get rid of that horrible, crazy thing. And we can shape builder tool. Shape builder tool's good, but it can screw up your anchor points a little bit. So if you can use the Pathfinder tools, use them first, because they are less destructive on your geometry. The shape builder tool sometimes is necessary, but right, we just got 2 anchor points there. Yeah, okay, so we should be able to connect them. There we go. So this one here is coming a little bit lower, which I kind of want to make it look more like a page turn rather than totally symmetrically. There's just one bit of the F I'm missing. It's the vertical bit. We'll just align those anchor points and then connect it all up. So you want to get clean geometry like this with everything snapped. And this one here, we can then go and round this off a bit. We're still going to get the nice paper sharp point, which is great. And then I got to round everything else off as well. Ah, whoops. There's a bit there we don't want. Okay. That's our F. And then we've got to round the corners off. So we'll do a radius of, what was it, 2, I think? And then we need the same here. 2. Because this is a different angle to a right angle, you might have to optically adjust that slightly. Because the angle does matter. So like I'll demonstrate what I mean. If you've got a right angle here, and then you've got an angle that's much wider, if I do a radius of 4 there and a radius of 4 here, they do look slightly different. This curve looks more curvy than this one. And that's because the angle does matter. So if I kind of bend this in and make it really sharp and then change that to that same value of 4, you can see it kind of curves it all the way up. So sometimes you got to adjust things optically with your eyes to get the curve looking the same rather than just punching in the same number and assuming it's correct, if that makes sense. Right, so there we go. We've got our base page turn. We could actually still go and take that a step further and play around with it a bit more. I was just trying to put the line back in to see how it looks. I think I prefer it without. But then you can sometimes have it like part of this. So you could have maybe a bit to sort of represent something. Or we could copy this and rotate it around. This is where I would I'm already in Illustrator now, so there's no point going back to sketching. We may as well just keep it in here. and then just add some detailing. It looks a bit like a wing more than anything, but and then we could try a version where we've got some sort of texture maybe. And then we'll leave it off of the actual page turn. So this could emphasize the page turn a bit more. And all this stuff that I'm doing here is just using the basic tools and keyboard shortcuts to just work fast. You know, there's lots of tools in Illustrator, but to be able to do, in my opinion, professional level logo design, it's a mastery of the basic tools and the knowledge of these different techniques. Once you get your tools, techniques, and your processes right, the results just get better automatically. It's called The Fold. So it's a, what is it, bookshoppy thing? A modern day bookshop and co-working space for the curious. I think I actually prefer the version without all of the lines on, but we're trying it anyway. And I think I'm going to go for 3. So it's a bit more scalable. Would I round the corner radius for this bit here? This on an F with rounded corners. Would I round this one? I don't know. Maybe. I guess I'm rounding this one as well. Although you can see here, this is kind of what I was saying. They're not the same. That and that. Oh, actually, no. No, they are the same. No, I'm just being an idiot. Ignore me. Yeah, so we want to play around with the width as well. It's all very well designing it this size, but when it's on a tiny website, how does it look? In fact, what we could even do is open up a duplicate window and we'll arrange them. We'll tile them, move this over, and then I'm just going to zoom all the way out here. So let's just take another version. This one here, I'm just going to keep that sort of what would be like website header size on my screen. So this is the same document. If I move something around, you'll see it change. But now I can adjust the stroke weight on the big version and I can see how it affects the smaller version. So it's a good idea to design for like how it's going to appear on a website as well. So when I start typing in the fold text, let's just go Arial again. Maybe let's make it a bit bigger. I can then design it like at full size, but see how it looks at the actual tiny size as well. Hey, Phil. How's it going? Long time no see. You alright? All right, font. Fonty McFonty font. I think it's got to be a sans serif typeface. But what one? Actually, something else I just want to try as well while I'm here. Ah, no. Okay. That answers that. Yeah. So yeah, something clean. Yeah, this should be an interesting one actually. Because you got to go, do you go uppercase or title case or lowercase? Do you stack the words or do you have them written like this on one line? And then when you've got about 10 different sans serif typefaces, which is probably what I'm going to go for, how do you pick one over the other? You know, because they're all very similar, but some can be better than others. So if we just get a few that are quite similar, and then I'll walk you through the thought process of how I would pick one over another. Brackle. And in terms of font as well, maybe we do want something that has slightly rounded corners to kind of reinforce that warm, inviting community energy rather than just too corporate. And it's good as well because I've got these two different size previews as well. If you want to go back to one view, by the way, you just go to Window and then consolidate all windows and it will put them back. So this is still the same file, it's just two different views. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Hectic at the moment. Oh, tell me about it, man. Life can get busy, right? Should the page code bump out a little further so it's easier to see it's the second horizontal? Yeah, you could do. Yeah, you push it out more? Yeah, possibly. It's tricky trying to. Yeah, I could push it out a little bit more. It's just trying to maintain the perfect arc. So what I was doing with the arcs is, you know, if you hold down Shift. Also, when you're holding the arc and you're dragging it out, press F to flip the direction. But you're doing that. We don't want to be doing this. You know? And this is why in my recent video, I was very, not the most recent one, but the one where I was talking about using shapes instead of the pen tool. That is because that is exactly why. If you're doing clean modern logos, you know, it's not a rule, but if you're pen tooling it, you can end up with that. If you're using basic shapes, you end up with that, you know, because if you don't put the midpoint of the pen tool curve in exactly the right place, and if you're a beginner, it's obviously a lot harder using the pen tool, you're going to get curves like this. Now, sometimes they're necessary, but at least when I'm going through and reviewing people's work and I'm looking at things that I would personally change that I think would make an improvement, I'm using basic shapes and perfect arcs in place of, you know, free-handed stuff or pen tool where things could be tightened up a bit. That's quite a good one. Exactly, yeah, Patrick. Yeah, it's you don't want to get wonky. Like, just do on another tangent. Like, let me give you a really good example. This is probably one of the most common things that I'll see. So I've got to, yeah. So normally, like, you want to have it taper off at a consistent rate, but what I sometimes see is this. Or it might be like this. Whereas to get things to taper off at a consistent rate, so if you've got these two and they taper off, it's getting smaller and smaller consistently. It's not happening inconsistently, where it starts slow and then falls off really sharp or whatever. So what we can do is use the width tool to take that to a point, and you get like a perfect tapering effectively. Expand the effect, flip it around. And that's just from using a different technique. So instead of pen tooling it and trying to pen tool a perfect tapering, you just get a perfect tapering by using the stroke. That's the sort of thing that I teach a lot of in the courses, and I waffle on about all the time. Because you're changing the process and the tools and the techniques, and it will yield a better result. I think, yeah, that's a good question, Austin. I think you could apply it to a lot of things, though. Music, video. You know, if video becomes lifelike and music is just generated and creativity is automated. In fact, me and Poppy were talking about it the other day. When everything just becomes generated and there's nothing left, what happens next? In fact, genuine question: what happens when you can't tell if something is? The video is already at that point now where we can't tell if it's real or not. So what do people do when everything's automated? I don't know. Do we consume more of it and just all watch videos from AI creators making AI content? Or do we reject it and go, nah, I've had enough of this. Everything just becomes AI. I don't know. I think a lot of people are gonna seek out human connection more with AI. Oh wow. Oh wow, that's clever. Hang on, let me share these ideas. Copy image. This is Raquel's book page turn thing. That's really cool. Yeah, I think having that as a solid, that definitely... Oh, and it's what you've done with the curve as well. That's super cool. And then this one as well. That's so cool. I probably trimmed down the number of pages for a smaller size, but yeah, love that. The pages exploding out of the book. Oh, nice. All right, I wonder if I were to take Raquel's use of color and... Oops, wrong tool. Plonk it in here. And then I think I'd have to bring the stroke down so it's not as curvy on this bit. Or... I think that makes a difference. Let's get rid of the stroke. Oh no. And not the stroke. Yeah, I think maybe it looks better with the solid fill, actually. Because then you can... The negative space works better, and then you've got that page turn in there. Nice. Right, where's my fonts? Ooh, Dazzle Uni case. You like the pages? Where's it gone? I've lost it. Yeah, so cool. Din. In fact, what about Traycliffe? Is it Greycliffe? This is quite a good font because it's got slightly rounded corners as well. In fact, I think it has a rounded version. Is there a rounded version? Oh no, the whole thing's rounded. Let's get rid of that. I might change the corner radius. Yeah, how does that look? The fold. What if we stack it? Kind of fits the height of the lettering a bit better. Because it is quite a tall logo mark as well. And then we'll do a version with capitals. Actually, we could actually get away with centrally aligning it here. Because of the shape of the F, you've got this sort of spacing. So actually a central alignment might lock in round there quite nicely. Normally you wouldn't necessarily be able to get away with it in the same way. Active. Bit too rounded. I need like a slightly rounded one. I don't like those E's. Oh, the H and the L nearly connects, which is nice. Yeah, we could try a serif. I want to go and play around with some sketches a bit more. That's what I mean about the process. being very backwards and forwards. Yeah. And then maybe a straight line. And this is what I mean. I would exhaust every possible idea just to make sure. It's nice to get carried away with an idea and run with it. But I wouldn't want to leave anything off the table as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, iteration. Like even seeing yours, Raquel, you've obviously gone for a bit more of a shark fin shaped page turn. And I've not done that so far. I've done this one and then a kind of combination of a straight line and a curve. So I think the concept, the idea of doing the page turn and the letter F, I think is a solid idea. But it's just getting it looking right. So then what was it before? Let's go back to our that bit's not going to be there, is it? Let's get rid of that. So we could do that. I mean, could we do... No. Maybe bring it down a bit lower. That's going to kind of reinforce this part of the F, which is something someone said about bringing it out a bit further. This does kind of naturally do that. Bit too rounded. Let's try that shark fin shape just to see how it looks. Could you make it curl back a bit more? A bit more curly? I don't know. Let's bring this lower. I don't know. let's maybe bring it a bit wider. So it's kind of coming out like this. Go a little bit steeper there. And we've got to bring this part of it, this comes out quite far. So we've got to then bring the F further out to compensate. But then this part of the F has got to be chunked up as well, because you can see here we've got a much wider F. And we've got to thicken up that part of the F. So we're sort of, this is one of the biggest challenges when you're trying to work something visual or some sort of iconography or whatever it is into a letter, is maintaining the integrity and the typographical correctness, shall we say, of the letter form. Because if we get the paper in there but the F looks terrible, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't call it a win. This feels a bit weird. I think I've curved it too much now. I'm going to be dreaming about paper curls. What about... No, it's got to join to the corner. I think the stem of the F could be a bit longer. It would help sell the page turn and make the F stand out more. Do you think? That one feels best. Michael, which one are we talking about? Out of the left or the right one here? What one do you prefer? We could make the T taller. T? What am I on about? F! Come on down. It's just coming out a little bit too far there. So there we go, yeah. Is that better, Patrick? So we're bringing it out a bit further. And then rather than go with the shark fin shape, I think I'm going to keep the rounded one and then the straight line. In fact, I need to redraw that. It's a bit scrappy. And then it's going to come straight through this point here. So there's no other detailing on the F. It's just literally... That could be a really nice curve. And then it comes out a little bit further. And then I think, yeah, it makes sense to fill them like Raquel did. Sort of keep the lettering effectively blacked out, and then you've got the page turn in that negative space. I think it looks better down than up. I think this one looks a bit weird. Try, okay, it says left. Try upper right vertical line. Upper right. Like the fold below. Upper right vertical line. Do we change the F? I think because I'm adding a paper turn in it already, I think I want to keep it more like a traditional F. So it's still recognizable. How does that compare to these two sketches? These are the ones I'm comparing. I fear that's a little too far, but won't be able to tell until the solids are filled in. Well, we can go and do that. We can fill them in quickly. You think? Yeah, I like how the F, it definitely comes out further, this part of the F. About the corners. Maybe keep this pointy and then round off the corners slightly. So we've still got that sort of warm, inviting style. Maybe. We can always change that in Illustrator. Do I round? Yeah, I'll round that one off. Yeah. And then keep that one sharp. So it depends now if we do this, kind of curve it and then just go straight down, or whether we just do an arc like that. Right, let's try doing a vector version of this and then we can compare it to that one. And then arc tool again. We'll try it from the corner. That should come out enough. And then just connect it up there. I kind of want this to go straight through that point. Just so I don't get any kind of weird, awkward geometry. So let's scale it up so it runs through. And then just connect that to the corner again. There we go. So that'll avoid any weirdness. And then we can just trim all that off. And get rid of any duplicates. So we've got some duplicate lines here. We want to get rid of all that. So we can adjust the corners really easily. How are we going to do this? There we go. And yeah, there we go. We should be able to bring that out around the corners, thicken it up a pinch. And what we're going to do now, let's try 2 again. And then maybe this one. I might keep that one straight, actually. Yeah, I think it will help reinforce the page turn. What if the shark fin doesn't touch in the point area? It doesn't touch in the point area. How do you mean? What, here? I'm kind of not going for the shark fin style. I do like that idea, but I want to keep it a bit more straight. Or did you mean adding a cut, like a break? I'm not sure if I understood what you meant there. These two bits the same width. They look different. Unless my eyes are just playing tricks on me. Let's check. Oh yeah, they are the same height. Curve the inside area first. Arm F. Curve the inside. That's not this bit, is it? We've done a curved version already, like wherever it is. This one. But it's just getting the page turn right. I think I like this curve here connecting to all the way to the bottom. Oh, I do like the linear version. Let's plonk in some colour. Oh no, it does look better. It does look better like that. And then you can probably drop the stroke down a bit. Let's just make sure we're using the correct black. It's just toying with adding some details or something. I don't know about the rounded edges. I need to compare. Because we've got subtle little rounded corners. I think maybe that actually. We've already got like a rounded corner on the stroke. Oh, let's try something else actually as well. Let's try changing this to white. Make it the same 3-point weight. Just to sort of sell the page turn effect a bit more. what's that, 3-point weight. So we'll do an offset of 3. This is the little trick I teach in the Illustrator course as well. So you get parallel lines. So you see the weight there is perfectly parallel. Probably a bit long, so maybe I just cut them. And maybe they're too thick. Maybe we go for 1.5 and just use them to add a bit of detail. No, I don't think that really adds anything. Let's expand it. Merge it all together. And just try changing this radius here. Oh, I think, hang on, I got an idea. I think this is probably what I should have done for this bit. Have it taper off to a point so it kind of shows the page turn a bit better. Could even make it smaller. Put a thin line behind the fold. Behind the fold, where's that? Looking like an arrow point. More like Pikachu's tail. Let's flip it around. Oh my goodness. No way. If I can get this to work, doubling up as a T and an F. That would be insane. How do I get you symmetrical? Let's do this. Yeah, that's correct. Hey, Hillary. It's for The Fold. It's effectively like a communal bookstore place, but with a bit more than that. I dig this. It reminds me of the Falcons logo. I mean, if we could get the T in there as well in a really nice mark with a T and an F and the page turn, I feel like that would be a win. This would lean more into the, well, maybe it would lean into the linear style. Actually, let me just try. Oh yeah, they are shapes. So maybe this would make it easier to see the T and the F. Maybe the F is blacked out like this and the T is linear. Holy shit. That's either really, really clever or really silly. I think it's clever. Maybe. Huh. Oh wow, that's amazing. The music where you find out Jon Snow's parentage literally just kicked in. Oh, that was so good. Oh, what brilliant timing. That was hilarious. Oh, that's funny. Literally, as I just got the design. Yeah, I don't think that looks rubbish, does it? Sometimes you can go a bit too mad with it and you can, oh yeah, I'll try and get the T in there and then I'll get the history of the brand in there as well. And you try and pile in all this stuff and it goes a bit too far. So I'm just mindful of that. Unless we connect it like this. Actually, yeah, that's probably the way to go. Because now we can pull out the F and comfortably keep the T as well. Or maybe we bring that down. Yeah. Something like that. We're almost there. Something like that. Maybe this. The T doesn't need to be completed. It's kind of almost implied. You can see it, but then you do have an F as well. And a page turn. Oh, it's just getting it right. I think it's almost there. There's almost something really clever there, but not quite. So we've got the shape of the T, so we need to keep that as is. Yeah, we could. We don't have to use black. We could use other colors as well. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, a grey for the back here. We could do, yeah. If we could if I could keep the negative space in play with the white, I think it would look really cool. I'd love to try to not lose that. I always felt like this felt like there's something a bit missing. Like I love the F, but it just felt a bit, almost a bit like right heavy as well. This to me just sort of balances it out a bit more. But it is just finishing it off in the right way. I wonder if you bring that. Yeah, it's tricky. Tricky. No, so you could, if you do that, it mucks up the typographical nature of the T. What was the first one I had? It was that. Oh, nice, Racco. I just saw your T and the F in the Discord. You're having fun. Oh, yeah, no, I love this idea. I've just got to get the flipping... And the straight line here is good. Because if I curve it round, it then unbalances this side of the T, if it's going to be a T and an F. So it's got to be in this sort of style. But it's just, where do I connect this? Where do I connect it? I want to keep the negative space on the page turn. You know, do you do that? Maybe this one, actually. Maybe this one's not too far off the mark. I'm going to go back to square corners. They've got like a slight roundedness to them anyway. And then this corner, we'll just try to make the radius of this one here optically match this stuff here. And yeah. Oh, I do like that. That is really cool. You like the T and F combo? Yeah, it's... I think there's an idea there. I was just saying, like, you can go a bit too overboard sometimes. But I don't think it's too overboard. I think it's one of those little things that just sort of happens and it's like, oh, that looks really cool. Whoops. It was all intentional, the whole thing. I think sometimes as well, I don't know, maybe some of this is subconscious, you know. Do you know what I mean? Like they sort of seem like a happy accident, like, oh wow, look at that, I just did a thing. But maybe on some level your brain on a subconscious level is putting the pieces together. I do quite like the linear one as well. But I feel like that better shows off the... It better shows off the F, but then I like how this one just has that monoline style that I just love going for. I feel like this one does do a good job of combining a T and an F. I just don't know if I need to bring this down a bit to just sort of reinforce the T side a bit more. I mean, actually, this line here does kind of double up as a bit of a sort of spine almost. So that could actually work. TF. T and F. I guess the only other thing you could do with this one is if we offset the path, something like that, and we'll expand everything. We could then use it to just cut that off clean. And if I use my knife tool, I can just slice around that, get rid of this, bring that to the front. So I like trying to be consistent where I can be, but I think maybe something like that, so it kind of follows the curvature a bit more, might be the way to go. Probably need to bring it down more, actually. Like something like that. And we can just... Yeah, obviously I'll do it properly. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of has a continuous thingy-madoodah. That might be the way to go, actually. So... how am I going to do this? Copy this. Paste. What is that? That's a 4-point weight. So we're going to go for a 4-point offset. Set the stroke color to white. And delete everything else. This technique is so useful. Like, that's why I teach all this stuff in the... even in the first Illustrator course. Because it's just so flipping useful. And you get like a parallel cut there, if you like. So it does kind of double up as the sort of spine of the fold as well. Yeah, Tanvir, the Discord link, if you go to dansky.com, on the homepage, there's a section that says courses, coaching community, and then there's a link if you click on the community one to sign up. Hey, Kyle. Looking good, Dan. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly. Slowly but surely. So then I'm just going to try another one like this. These are all like little checkpoints. If I'm about to do anything, I do get a bit sort of scared of like buggering something up. So I just save copies, which is kind of fun at the end because then you get to go through and you can see the progression and how it's changed. So we're going to go here for... I'm going to just push this up a little bit more to make a bit more of a gap. So I'm going to go with another offset. And we'll keep that one as well. Just do that. Nudge it back in. And we're just pushing it a little bit higher on this version. So we got that version. And then we'll do a third version which gets rid of it. And just has it at the same sort of height, but rounded off. Ooh, that's hard. That is really difficult. Huh. Let's just throw in a fourth version just to make my life way more complicated than it needs to be. We'll just go full on square square edged. And then a tiny little rounding off there. This is when you sort of get like 95% through the process, and then the last 5% is just like obsessing over the most minute details. Hilary says the curve on the end of the T helps the illusion of the book stand out more. The curve on the end of the T. Curve. Oh, I see what you mean. This bit here, yeah? Yeah, I think you're right. Normally I would love to just have it consistent like this with a nice rounded cap, but I think because it does have that same curvature as this part, I think it does sort of support the, yeah, like you say, the illusion of the book or the page turn or whatever. Annoyingly. I don't think squared off totally is the way to go, so because we've got a round corner anyway, I think a tiny little radius is going to be good. What if you reduce the length of the shape without the fill color? What, this one? It would unbalance everything. Oh, unless you meant this bit here, which is, yeah, it's kind of what I had before. And you could still do that, to be fair. It still kind of, it works, I think. I think when this line here is further, when it gets close like this, it's a bit weird. Having the rounded cap so close, it kind of makes more sense to do something like this and have it almost like it's cutting through. But when you do pull this line further away and pull it up here a bit more, I think because it's not in the same sort of proximity as this, I think you get away with it a bit more. Right, let's just throw another version in to really complicate and drill on the details. Actually, no, we've got that already. What am I doing? Yeah. So keeping it even closer. Oh, it's a child. Hello. Hello.
Tipple top top.
Don't bang your head on the light, you donut. Yeah, sorry, Hilary, I've moved them around now. Middle one, second from the left. This one here. Can the whiteout T be shortened? No. Not from the left side, because I think it will unbalance things. It's a bit of a weird one. I know what you mean. Actually, maybe. Actually, it's a bit of a weird one. Because this is a solid fill, this one on the left looks longer than it actually is. So, actually, yeah, sugar, you might be right there. So optically, we might have to nudge it in. This is the sort of bit. This is one of the downsides of mixing fills and strokes, is because sometimes certain parts can appear longer than others. Yeah. So I might have to optically adjust it. The important thing is that it looks symmetrical, even if it technically isn't. So I think, yeah, even that looks a little bit better, I think. Just a tiny adjustment to make it visually look a bit more balanced. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I see what you posted. Yeah, I mean, if we did without Raquel, it would solve this entire problem. Where is it? This one here. So maybe, yeah. Sod it. Let's just throw in another version just to complicate everything. And then rounded cap. Yeah, maybe that is the one. Maybe just letting it, you still get the T out of this. You still do get the T, but it just lets the page turn feature a bit more. But at least we get to look at them all now and just, I don't know, see which one works. Where have you gone? Hey, Stephen. The name, that's a good point. What is the name of the company? The Fold. So hence the T and the F combination. Modern day bookshop and co-working space for the curious. It needs to feel intelligent, warm, and effortlessly modern. It should capture the tactile beauty of books. So we went for the page turn, the paper, reflecting the creativity and connection of a shared space. And I think as well, you could say that you've got a connection here between the T and the F. It's all kind of interwoven. And you could say that they are sharing a space in a way. I don't know. Oh no, we're about to hit the edge of the artboard. Just to throw another version in there. And to throw another version in there. Let's do one without the fill. Just go full monoline. Which I do kind of like. It's very much my sort of style. On the top far right one, try the disconnected T again with the curved ends disconnected. Reminds me of a 7, the far right one. Couple of strokes on the right top of the T to look like book spine rides. The monoline looks like the Framer logo. Framer logo. Not really. I could sort of see the similarity, but not quite. Make the blade have another curve on the left side. How do you mean on the left side? What, over here somewhere? Spine. Oh, sorry, spine ridges. I like the left one second in. I mean, we're using black as well. Let's just throw in a color. Like, if you said to me, pick a color right now, I would probably go for an orange. So let's just throw one in for fun, for funsies, rather than just looking at it with black. Yeah, I think that does make a difference, putting a color in there. One in from the right looks cool. So hard. Ah. I like the bottom line of the T. No, sorry. I think the bottom line of the T should have a flat end, not a rounded one. So our brains would fill the negative space created with the fold. Yeah, I mean, orange and brown would be a nice complementary palette. So we could just, I'm running ahead a little bit, go into color here, but you know, if we were to go orange and brown, I think they could work really nicely together. So you kind of get that fun, vibrancy, good energy, but then you would get the sort of brown to do with, well, books, paper, trees, leather. Yeah, that would form a really nice palette. You could do something really cool with those colors. That's brown, apparently. Some sort of shade of brown, yeah. Like a more reddish brown. How the second one from the left has that curved end. Do that to the far right one. Does that make sense? No. Yeah, I said earlier, it's hard for me to understand sometimes. If people want to mock stuff up and scribble it and throw it in the Discord, it's a bit easier for my brain to understand. Let's take the color. I will just leave the color in for now. We're just looking at it with color. Just, I don't want to jump too far ahead. I just like how bringing the T up, you still get the T, but having it higher up lets the F breathe a bit more and get a bit more prominence. But you still get the T shape. You know, it's not like adding this line down here is what gives it the T. I think it still holds the T and the F in a sort of quite a nice balance there. What does that look like? As black as that pretty much, isn't it? It's always good to make sure a design does work in black and white. Oh, that does look really cool. Do you want to remove the T extension and infuse the lettering of the font, eliminating the T and the F? Oh, I see what you mean. So you're saying have that and then write, if I just do this really quickly, and then bring it into the lettering. So if we're just using Montserrat here, let's go for ultra chunk. I'd obviously need to find a suitable font. We'll just squish that in for now. So yeah, what you're saying is have the, and then bring that into the lettering. Maybe. Oh, hello. Because then if I could stack the H and get the T and the H to line up like that and it all sits centrally, that would be rather delicious. So yeah, maybe that is the way to go. The thing here is we'd have to then find a good font, but then balance this with the font. So you can't, at the moment, obviously I've just completely skewed the whole thing, but this does not fit. Rounded corners on this F, squared off here. So we'd have to balance that. I mean, that does look kind of cool. Orange is all about communication too. Yeah, I think orange would be a good color for this sort of vibe. It's not just, it's more than a library, isn't it? The old. Fits the brief. That only F version looks better because the is only the article. Oh, what, I see what you mean. When you say it's only the article, do you mean it's not, it's like almost like a filler word, it's not the thing? Is that what you mean by that? I mean, these letters, I probably would actually just draw them myself to match. So what I would do in this case, if I wanted to go this route, rather than trying to match a font, I think what I would do is I would lengthen this, because a lot of sans serif fonts are, and okay, let's just get some letters in. The good thing about this is I can actually customize them, so it will be quite fun. So we need to get the same weight. So first we've got to find the weight of this letter that I've drawn. So we're going to find the halfway point. We're going to make it bright reddish pink. And we've got to find the weight. So if we're going to draw other letters, now we're going to hold Command or Control and click to go up really slowly. So there we go. 25.2 is the exact weight. So then what I can do is change the stroke to 25.2. So that everything I design is now going to match. So if I round that off, hey, there we go. We got an O. Let's throw down some guides as well. And at least we got something to line up to, roughly. We're working with strokes, so we're going to have to eyeball it to line stuff up, but that's fine for now. This F is quite narrow as well because of the paper nature, so I am probably going to go for a more condensed font that I'm doing. Now, any new letters we draw are very fortunately going to have the right properties. We want to get rid of the cap roundingness, though. And make sure we get the widths correct. So that looks pretty good. D is quite straightforward. We're just going to round these two off. And there we go, we got our D. The O could be fully rounded. It kind of depends on what style you're going for. Maybe just, yeah, maybe something like, oh, I don't know actually. Don't know. These letters look a bit rubbish. I mean, they will have the rounded nature on as well. I'm not loving the O. Maybe that's a bit better. Now, with something like an O, you do have to push it beyond the X height and the baseline slightly for it to be visually balanced. Otherwise, it will look smaller than the other letters. So it can be a bit fiddly to get right. This one here. Yeah. So let's do it before writing it off. So I'm just going to copy these over here for a sec, and then we'll expand them. And then now they're expanded, I can go in and add the same sort of corner radius. So this is just a what is it? What am I saying? Yeah, that was made slightly differently, so I'm going to eyeball it. So what's that? 1.7. We'll go with that, and then I can just go around here. And we don't want to just do this on every corner. Like, you wouldn't necessarily do it on this inside part of the L. So we're rounding more the outer corners. So like here on the D. Don't know. Would you do it there? I'm not sure, actually. Could use another font for reference. Oh, I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know if I like it. But I don't know why. Oh man, this suddenly became really hard. There's something about the lettering that I'm not liking. I can't put my finger on it. It might be the O. Let's try it with a round O. Maybe. Because I swear there's some fonts that do this. They have like all the letters are like, you know, a bit thinner, and then they have like a really round O that occupies a lot more space. I feel like you can do that typographically.
Hello.
Hello.
Halloween.
Have you put all the?
Here.
Oh no, this has arrived.
Skeletons have been put out.
Poppy's put all the stuff out. By the way, for anyone who's interested in the Halloween competition, I'm just finishing up the video like today, tomorrow, trying to put together a whole flipping music video because of course not. Why the hell not? So that's probably going to be today.
Coming very, very soon.
Coming soon. Oh, I don't like the D. Yeah. I know what it is. Oh my goodness. Do you want to show everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Show them on the... Oh my goodness.
Wait till the end.
Oh my god, it's me. That is... Wait, where did that... Where's the ginger wig come from?
I don't know.
Did you buy that?
No, I found it in the loft.
You found it in the loft?
Yeah.
I want to wear it now.
Okay, I'll go get it.
Yeah, please. Oh, hang on. Show everyone the video. Yeah. If you go and hold it like really close to the camera.
Hi, everyone.
This is what Poppy's done to our garden.
Oh, wait.
You got to go closer than that. Close.
Lots of skeletons. Oh, why is it
You
blurry?
got to keep it in the middle.
And then some big skeletons.
Wait for it. Dun. Ta-da! That's me. That's me when I finish this logo.
The boys helped me, made the lawn as well.
Oops.
Oh. Hi everyone. Hi Raquel.
We need to talk about the slide. We do not need to talk about the slide.
What's that? Oh. Yeah, we do.
Oh my god, it's so funny. So a Paul's edit. I was just dying. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
Wasted.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I'm gonna get the ginger thingy.
Thank you. That would make me so happy. Yeah, so we're gonna go for a different D, I think. This is the fun thing about doing the lettering as well, is you can sort of do what you want, really. And be more creative with it. So, God, this is looking very avant-garde style. And then it'll move that over. Why don't I like it? There's something that's just... Oh, the L lining up's nice. Oh, we could have it in a block. That would be lovely. It would be good if it could stack like that. That would be really cool. I think we're getting there, Care. I think we're very... I think the weird part of the stream is very imminent, I'd say. If I had to put money on it, I'd say we're almost there. Maybe a thinner stroke. I don't know. Yep, no. We've definitely arrived.
You're even more ginger now.
We have arrived. That is pretty spectacular, I think. Can you imagine if we have another first timer join and they've never been here before and they're like, whoa, that dude has got some hair on that head. Damn! What about a linear style? So if I shimmy this down and expand this.
Leo said you're very gingery.
I am very gingery, yes. Oh, I think Mummy's calling you.
Oh.
Stupid kid. Oh, have you locked him out? Oh no. He's going to kick off now. Oh, it's so gullible. So... Where'd you go, Eli? Did you go and see Mummy? What does she want?
She said, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. Alright, let's make this a bit bigger. Oh, goodness. They've gone. Thank you. Oh, no, the cat's here. Yeah, what about a linear style? Roo, shut up. We're trying to do a logo here. No. I can't help you. Oh, stop it. Yeah, that's the sign. The F needs to be a bit longer, I think, but that's fine. We can just drag that out. I think. And we've got to kern it manually. So there's certain downsides to doing your own letters. Will you shut up? I'm trying to do a logo. Flippin' heck. No. Oh, that's kind of cool. Leaning into the sort of, there's bits of the F sort of missing, if you like. So maybe we do that there. I actually quite like that. The L's got to be a bit wider as well. You call me tyrannical, but you're the real one. Instead of growing a mustache. Oh dear. Yeah. That is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, we do have to kern this. So one way you can do kerning if you're new to this, or you're not sure, or whatever, you can use an existing font. So if I just grab Avant-Garde, I could use that as a guide. Although the F is considerably smaller. So I'd kind of need to find a similar font. Yeah, maybe Satoshi. Satoshi-san. So we'll just make that a bit bigger. And this can kind of give me a rough idea of the widths of the different letters. You know, just look at other fonts and you can see how they're sort of put together. So yeah, I think maybe the D and the O, kind of like this actually, the D and the O will occupy a bit more space. The L and the F will perhaps occupy a bit less. That's not actually too far off. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you can look at the kerning as well. Kerning is the spacing between the individual letters. This F's a bit weird here because you don't have this part sticking out. So we do have this extra gap here, which means we might have to optically push that a bit closer to the O so it doesn't look so far apart. Because if we had this other part of the F coming out here, now it looks too close. But because we don't, we might have to fiddle around with it a little bit. I swear there's something wrong with that cat. There's something wrong with you, isn't there? Do you want a cuddle? Is that what you want? If you stop meowing as soon as you get a cuddle. Is that all right? This is Rue. Is this okay now, yeah? Is this all fine now? Is that better? The Scorpio in you must be. Oh, nothing, Kerry. You've not missed anything. This is just normal, really, isn't it? Right, you've had a cuddle now. Now I need to get back to work. Okay? Goodbye. If you keep meowing, I'm going to turn you into a hat. I will wear you like this wig. Right. Shut up. Oh, I do like that. I really do like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to bring the F in a bit more. 1, 2. Just so the L isn't so pokey outy. How am I going to do the word the, though? The fold. Do we do the letter? Well, same style, probably, but do we do them same size or a bit smaller? I mean, the word the should be pretty straightforward. So we can just use other letters we've already got as a bit of a basis here. So we're just going to copy bits we've already done. And, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to do an E like that, am I? It's not going to fit. Unless I make it smaller. No, that's weird. Cool, that is going to be a very chunky E. Let's try dropping it down to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what would the be? So we got this bit here. So we can kind of build new letters out of existing letters, which is quite handy. And yeah, move that out to the side. Flip it around. And then we need an H for the. So the more letters you design, if you do choose to go the custom route, the more, the easier it gets, because you just then start reusing pieces you've already created, and it's going to give you a bit more consistency as well. Right. Let's connect these pieces up. This E is just ridiculously thin. So we're doing everything here with maximum precision. Yeah, I mean, that's a slight problem. That doesn't look great. So I guess the way we would get around that is we'd have to thin down the E and then thin down the other letters, including our F. But it depends. Oh, that does line up so nicely with the way look at the flipping H and the thing connects. The only downside with this design, I think, is it kind of pulls some of the focus away from the F, but I don't know. Maybe the E could be 3 stacks, like 3 books. We could simplify it that way. I think she said she found it upstairs in the loft, the attic. How are you just okay with putting it on your head, not knowing what might have happened to it? I just don't care. I'm not fussy like that, Kaya. Like I'm the sort of person that if I'm out and about and there's nowhere for me to sit, I will just sit on the floor. Like I don't. Yeah, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about. You know, there could be a spider in the wig. I don't care. I had a wasp land in my beard the other day while I was talking to someone, and they were like, "There's a wasp in your beard," and I was just like, "It's fine." Like, you know, as long as I don't annoy it, it will leave me alone and bugger off. What if the word "there" was just lines? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe. I do quite like the way this sort of connects up. Connecting points is Command or Control J. So it's this option here, the join option. So you select 2 points with the direct selection tool and you can just instantly connect them. I have, yeah. I went to the barber's and I've grown some hair. I know. I should get my money back. You have issues. Oh, don't we all care? Don't we all?
I'm getting carried away. Oh my god.
I am a crazy pants, Andrea. Come on, where have you been? Hey, I am a serious professional. Yeah. Don't judge a man by the colour of his wig.
I think you got it on backwards.
Oh, I've got an idea. Oh, I've got a fix for the E so I don't have to redraw the damn thing. This is genius. This is really good. I'll show you. This is just abuse at this point, really, isn't it? This might work. You combing it. See, Poppy is facilitating the weirdness, you know. Like, even more. I was quite happy just to wear the wig, but now she wants to brush it. Is there anything living inside it?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It has been in the loft.
Yeah, I think Kaya was a bit concerned that I just put it on without question, but... Well, I mean, I say concerned. I assume it was concern. It could be just absolute horror that I would do something like that. See, now now it's tickling me.
No, it's a bit
now it's
more real.
Yeah, but I'm not enjoying the feeling.
Which side? That side. Hold on.
It's not a pleasant experience.
Does that look good? That could actually be real.
Oh wow, that does look a bit more. That does look a bit more seated. I've been given the full Ron Weasley treatment.
You're like a Karen.
I am not a flipping Karen. Don't you dare call me a
It
Karen.
kind of is a bit of a Karen hair.
Do you think?
A little bit.
Oh no. There we go. Slightly better E. Without having to redraw it, and it's original and it keeps the simplicity as well. Thank you, I think. Do you know, this could almost look... You get away with that, I think. Yeah, I can't really see. Let me put it on the big screen. Oh, yeah, you get away with that. I've just grown my hair. We've gone extra ginger. Nice. Very good. Ginger in disguise. Yeah, there we go. Oh, Nick, I mean, come on. You know you can't leave a Dansky stream. You know you can't leave. You can come back to anything. Oh my goodness. What, what the hell? What are you doing to my cat? What are you doing? Come on. Bloody madhouse. The mooch is like, is that a bread, Spuck? Oh no! Oh, I've never seen anything more random. I know, that's definitely up there, I think, isn't it? Where's my flipping stylus gone? I mean, I wasn't expecting that. If you'd have said to me, Dan, what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds, I wouldn't have had Poppy's going to put an indoor sparkler firework thing in a breadstick. Oh, dear me. Goodness me. How the hell do I bring it back to logo design after that? Yeah, so as we were saying, before being rudely interrupted
Smells like fireworks
by the bread sparkler lady. That's what you are now.
I love how you put the wig back on.
It's just part of my identity now. It is. I mean, it looks pretty good actually. It is itching me a bit though.
Yeah, but the sparkle is in the red. Make it a new thing.
Bread sparklers. Oh dear. You almost beat the crab. Sparklers in bread. Yes, Moosh, and everyone's going to think you're totally batshit. Oh, it'd be so funny. Oh. I'm not liable for any bread sparkler related cuisine related injuries that may result of you putting sparklers in a baguette or any injury or harm that may befall you. Anyway, right, so yeah. It's very linear, but I like it.
I feel like it was very AI.
What was AI?
Bread and a sparkler. It's like the sort of shit you get AI to generate.
Yeah, it would be actually, wouldn't it? Except it wasn't. It was 100% real. Totally real.
George is going to be here in a minute.
Oh, that's Leo's friend. Oh my goodness. There's going to be another child in the house.
It's going to be noisy.
Where can I hide? Please save me now. I think we're on to a winner with this one. Whether it's linear or solid fill like this is neither here nor there. I think a bit of fine tuning, especially with this E as well. Yeah, I think. I mean, we could even get. I don't want to go too mad, but we could get a subtle nod to books in there. If we do that and then, I don't know, maybe squish them down. I'd obviously need to go through and refine all this. Ah, no, that's too much. That's too much. It's taking away from the F. So if I wanted to go for like a solid fill version, I'd have to thin down the F a little bit. Have a slightly thinner font. I do love that one though. Is that going to work? Maybe, do you know what? Maybe it would. Let's put that orange back in there. And just see if... I was going to say we can create some magic. Hey, there we go. Da-da-da. Yeah, maybe something like that. Something like that. Let's... Yeah, no, you've got to have a different stroke color for the E to work. And then I guess, I mean, you could. Oops, I was going to say. Move it over here. Not. I'm not sure. Remember there's a T in the F as well. So we still do have that idea. Wherever it is gone. Is it this one? So there is still this one as an idea. Oh, it's hard. It's really difficult. Yeah, just blame it on Oshmoosh. Oh yeah, it must be a British tradition. Put in a sparkler in a baguette. I really like the fold. I wish I could just have fold on its own. How do I get the word the so much less significant? Maybe like that. And maybe we got to answer my own question. Oh yeah, that would just want it to be less big to let the less big. You mean smaller, Dan? Just so the word fold just kind of stands out a bit more. Flip it 90 degrees on the left of the F. Flip it 90 degrees. What does that mean? Flip what 90 degrees? Sideways. There. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I don't think I'll be able to get it that small with that weight, but oh, maybe I will. You don't know. I do not know. What if the word there was just lines? Yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. I like the thought process. I just don't think it would work. Yeah, and then if you go solid fill, or you go solid fill for the word the. I've still got to fix that E though. That's still going to be a problem. Paul says remove the T and bring the F icon or logo mark to host old and he. Oh, yeah. This one won't host both of them. It will read as he old, and you'll have this symbol here. If you've got one letter that relates to the bottom line and one relates to the top, that sort of technique can work quite well. You know, so if you were to go like, I think this is the sort of technique that you're referring to, right? You know, 8 elves, something like that. I don't because it's a combination one. I don't think it'll work because it's not really clear which part relates to which bit. And we could explain it and rationalize it, but to someone just looking at it who's never seen it before, it wouldn't immediately make sense and be legible. 4 hours. Oh my goodness. I've got to finish this, and I've not even eaten anything today, and it's like nearly 5 o'clock.
You can eat my sausages.
I knew you were going to say that. I flipping knew you were going to say that.
How did you know that?
Because I asked if I could eat them before the stream, so I could have something to eat. And you said, "Oh no, I'm going to eat them." Not in a northern accent, but close enough. And then I was thinking to myself, she's not going to eat them. She's not going to bloody eat them. And I could have eaten them all along and had some sustenance before the stream. So what I'm trying to say is, thank you.
Yeah.
And screw you for not offering them sooner so I could have eaten something. But thank you. I want to emphasize the thank you more than the screw you.
I'd like to eat them if they were hot and fresh.
I won't warm them up, and they're not fresh, and so you probably shouldn't eat them.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have said screw you before getting my hands on the sausages
Yeah.
because they might disappear. Demonetized. Walk by Poppy. I still think it'd be better a the in the thin lines matching the fold stroke width. I think the stroke width is the same. Or do you mean like linear as well? Can you not say screw you on stream? I don't know. You can, sure, yeah, you can say screw you, can't you? Maybe not in England. You can't say anything in England.
What can't you say?
You could say, "Oh, I don't really like you." That's hate speech. Off to jail with your son.
No.
I think we are. Yeah, we are allowing this.
No, you wouldn't say it to me. Wait, you did say it to me.
No. This is a family show. Just a lot. Oh god, what is that?
Can I make your hair black,
No,
please?
no,
Please?
no,
It washes out.
no.
Go on, just a streak, like a skunk. It's part of your Halloween costume makeup.
I will spray you everywhere with. Just leave me alone. No, just leave me alone.
Just one little streak. I'll wash your hair for you.
No, I had people dye my hair black when I was younger, and it looked awful.
Okay.
Go over there. You, you belong over that. Right, that's your side of the room. You're hereby, henceforth, you are banned from this side of the
I'll
room.
do it to Leah.
That's it. Yeah, go and spray the kids.
Leah. Black, your hair's going black.
You quiet, Andrea. You be quiet. Oh dear. Anyway. Gary. Oh, I think it's pretty much there. God, this has been going on a while, hasn't it? So these are the original sketches, which I mean, there's so many other ideas here that never even got properly explored. The original page turny ideas. And then the old Vectorinis. So this was the first sort of page turn. I think I definitely prefer the second one. Oh, the T as well. That does feel really clever. It feels like a waste not to use that, having the T and the F and the page turn in the same thing. But I don't know. This feels really good as well, though, the fold. In fact, something else we could actually do with that is try to open up the letters a bit more. So you know how this is kind of open. We could do this. I think she's spraying the children. Oh, maybe not, because then you get like a bit of an inconsistent style. But that does look kind of cool like that. You would get that probably. You'd get that in a website header. Maybe. Even if we did need to chunk it up a tiny bit. Hmm. I like this latest version too. What, this one here? With A smaller, it looks much better. With a smaller... How do you mean with a smaller... Hmm. Oh, a smaller the. I see what you mean. Yeah. Let's do some variations. I just wanted to put more emphasis on the word fold as well. Just don't want to make it too small. Unrelated, but do you ever get commissioned to do emailers for companies? What, so do you mean email design, that sort of thing? It's only recently actually that I've started taking on projects again. I haven't taken on projects like for clients for 6-7 years, and I started in the last couple months, and it's been nice to work on some projects again. It really has. But I used to do all sorts of stuff like that: email design, site design, landing pages, UI, for web, graphic, logo, photo manipulation, a bit of animation here and there. But yeah, I did a lot of email stuff for Clark's Shoes. I used to work for them for years, and we had to do all that. We had to do like all the landing pages, work on the site, checkout stuff, UI, UX, emails, affiliate. You know, the animated affiliate banners. Why didn't you do projects? It just got to the point, Care, where I was freelancing loads, and I'd started doing YouTube, and I just couldn't commit what I needed to do to both. Doing like lots of projects and powering my freelance business and doing YouTube videos. And in the end, I just decided that I would rather go the YouTube educational route instead. And I was at a point as well where I'd work. I've had a lot of great clients. I've been very fortunate to work with some great people. But I think there was a string of clients where I had to just constantly be chasing late invoices. And it was like, do you know what? This is bullshit. I shouldn't have to do this, you know? I'm doing the work and I'm delivering it on time. I should get paid on time. And I decided to teach instead of chase late invoices. But it's got to the, now I'm a lot more business savvy than I was back then. Anyway, like back then I wasn't really even using contracts unless it was like a really big project. Wasn't religiously taking a deposit up front. There was a lot of things I did and mistakes I made that I wouldn't do now, for example. But it was just, I would have carried on doing it, but I just didn't have the time to give everything to both, But then it's nice to start doing projects again because I've got this sort of big skill set, and it's great teaching, but it's also nice to actually put it into use and, have a project with a real brief and something you can get your teeth into, and to work with people, to actually, speak to people and have a call. And like YouTube is a very lonely game sometimes, especially before I was streaming again in 23. Like it was so flipping lonely talking to a camera the whole time. My goodness. So it's nice to actually like interact with people and work with people on stuff. Yeah, it is true, Cal. You're right. What would be the most efficient Adobe software to do email designs in? Would you recommend InDesign, XD, or Illustrator? Designing for an email, I would personally probably use Photoshop. No, I wouldn't use. So basically, I would build the email in a proper email builder, but I would design the graphics for the email in Photoshop. So yeah, you could design the whole email in Photoshop as a whole, with the intention that, you know, all the text is going to be coded and like live text, basically. The reason I would use Photoshop is because a lot of times in an email, there's product shots or graphics or things you want to be eye-catching. And you could do a lot of that in Photoshop. You know, you could do it in Illustrator, but if you've got a product and you want to retouch it and add a fade and a glow and add some lights, highlights and blah, 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 visual effects stuff, Photoshop's the best one for it. So I would always do my email graphics in Photoshop for that reason. You don't need to at all. You could use any of those apps. But for me personally, if I want to add gradients and fades and maybe some text effects and whatever it is, I just know that I can do that in Photoshop, or I can do it all in Photoshop without having to go into another program. And if I needed icons for an email, I could design them in Illustrator, and I know that I can copy and paste them into Photoshop as smart objects. So, yeah, that's probably what I would do. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Adobe Animate. When did you start that, Moosh? It's weird to remember as a viewer that you're actually talking to a camera. Yes, it is. It's, yeah. It is. It's very strange. It is very strange. I think I'm a bit backwards in that I find doing the live stuff like this, I find this 1,000 times easier than talking to camera without it being pre-recorded. Like, I've got a lot better over the years, and the more I do it, like, the better I get. But I just, like, when I'm not doing it live, I'm recording and I'm thinking about the edit and I'm obsessing over things, whereas here, live, doesn't matter. There's no edit. It's live. If you just act like an idiot and, you know, you get a ginger wig put on your head, you just have to get on with it. So it's actually way more relaxing doing a stream like this than doing any other type of video content. And we're here, exactly. Oh, yes, Mirza. Yeah, exactly as Raquel said, font self is brilliant for that sort of stuff. Is Illustrator better than Corel Draw? And I have a long background in Corel, and this will help in my learning Illustrator. Honestly, I've not used Corel for a long time. I used it at the beginning of my career, but I've always just been an Adobe person because, well, I think firstly that's because of what I started using. But as time's gone on, you know, you can hop between Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign so easily. You know, you can copy from one to the other. You can open up certain file formats between apps. So for me, if I was going to use Corel Draw, they've got Corel Photo, or is it Corel something? Like, there would need to be like a photo editor as well, ideally. But I've not used it lately, so I couldn't tell you if it's good at all. I've got no idea. That's all right, Benny. The fold. When we could even do something really nice with gradients on here. What is the brief? Let's go and look at the brief again. What do you think to that, Pops?
Yeah. Wait, which one am I looking at? You got three different screens. What am I looking at?
The big one.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Why do you like it?
Because it has a fold in the F.
Design a brand identity for the fold that feels intelligent, warm, and effortlessly modern. Does it feel intelligent? Does it feel warm? Does it feel effortlessly modern? Modern? It should capture the tactile beauty of books while reflecting the creativity and connection of a shared space.
Mm-hmm. I dyed the boy's hair black.
You're dismissed. Okay. You dyed the what?
Boy.
Goodness, as long as it's not me, that's fine. You go and dye the children. That's fine. Oh, no worries. No worries, Raquel. Thank you so much for joining and for your amazing ideas. Oh, yeah, this has been really long. 4 hours. How the Heck, it's 4 hours gone on. I think this is going to be another one that I will carry on as well. At this point in the process, I would definitely have taken a break by now. Just to step away from it and then come back with fresh eyes and look at it and go, wow, what on earth have I done? Or, oh, that was good. We'll carry on doing this. Oh my goodness, go away. I'm being attacked. Get off. Being attacked by a child.
Critical hit.
His hair's black.
Very good. He also nearly stabbed me with a sword. Would it be wrong if the can fit in the O? Not necessarily, no. I think if we did it in a linear style, as a few people have suggested, yeah, we could actually get that in there. Maybe that would work quite well. Let's just try that really quick, actually. Let's just give it a go.
Yeah.
I think we are about to be invaded by another child.
I'm not a child.
Has the other child arrived yet?
No.
Oh, wait, no, it's not 4 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, I can't count. Wait, I thought he was coming at 4.
He's late.
What, like an hour late?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay. Is he still coming? Are you sure? There we go. All right, we got some letters. Let's see if we can chuck them in the middle of here. Because then that will work out really well, and it won't take the focus away from the thing, whatever it is I'm trying to say. Let's... then we've got to push it to the left a bit because the T is a funny shape. So we've got to properly put it in the center. It could work. I think the execution just might need a wee bit of tinkering. Or the stroke comes down. Yeah, there's definitely potential there. It's just kerning it. This is one of the things. When you do your own letters, you've got to kern it correctly. Kerning's the spacing between different pairs of letters. Otherwise, it will look weird. Yeah, there you go. You see the difference now? So unless you've got experience kerning, that can be one of the mistakes when you do your own letters. Oh, I mean, that could work, yeah. Scalable for a website? Yeah, maybe at a push. And then I suppose you could always do that version. I'm not crazy about that, but it could work. Lots of ideas. What Mac do you use? I'm using an M2 MacBook Pro. 14-inch, the model with the 19-core GPU. Hey, Zara. It's nice? Okay, cool. Kenya at 7 p.m. Oh, nice. It is, 5 o'clock. I need to eat something. I'm not eating anything today. And, oh, yeah, Poppy said I can have sausages. Yes. Yes. Oh, wow, this has been really cool. Right, I've got to try and finish this music video thing. We've got a bit carried away as normal for the Halloween competition. So it's going to be Photoshop. It's going to be taking a collection of images and doing something spooky, scary, Halloween themed with those images. I will post all the details, all the rules and all that stuff. Right now I'm just trying to finish the music video thing because apparently we're doing that for some reason. So just sort of happened again. So yeah, I'm just trying to record stuff and finish editing that. So as soon as that's done, then that is pretty much going to be the point where we can kick it all off. But yeah, if you're in the Discord or if you're on my mailing list, I'll send out an email and a message and let everyone know when it started. But it's probably going to be either the early hours of the morning or more likely probably tomorrow, I think. So yeah, I was hoping to get it up sooner, but it's just been flipping mental the last week or two specifically. Just so much stuff happening. But it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, if you think, Zara, if you enjoyed getting attacked with a katana, you will love the ginger wig segment. I can't recommend scrolling back to finding the bit where Poppy put a sparkler in a baguette. That was quite special. Scroll back. There's a moment. Sparkler baguette. Yeah. Oh, it's the cat. But yeah, scroll back in the stream. I think you'll enjoy that. I have been fully abused today. Oh, right. Good stream. Yeah, enjoy. I don't think any of us quite expected Poppy to pull out a sparkler and a baguette. That was some next level random. But yeah, have an amazing weekend. Yeah, it's Friday, isn't it? Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next week. And yay, Photoshop competition. Ha ha!